that is still looking for answers. We hope that they can find them as soon as possible. Now, looking at the cracks within Jubilee, disquiet is brewing in the Jubilee party following claims that some people close to President Kenyatta are plotting Deputy President William Ruto's downfall. Appearing on Citizen TV's show that was on Sunday, Senate Majority Leader Kipchumba Murkomen claimed that the same people were pushing the lifestyle audit narrative as they are the same people putting in efforts so huge to put the president and his deputy apart, adding that harmony between the president and his deputy is being reversed. The head of state has, however, renewed the fight against corruption, and this seems to have left his party torn in the middle. Leaders allied to the DP opposing with a passion some of President Kenyatta's new policies on graft. They say these policies are being put in place with the aim of derailing Ruto's 2022 plan when that time comes. Let's look at what Kipkulei filed yesterday in regards to that.
Avenue that separates Harambee House on my right from Harambee Annex on my left. Now, some legislators in Jubilee Party are claiming that some individuals in Harambee House are undermining the occupant of Harambee Annex.
I believe that the investment that those people are putting in driving a wedge between the president and the deputy is so huge, and to a great extent, to me, it's creating faults.
In every word, the principal Jubilee leader in the Senate expressed frustrations over the happenings in the ruling party. Kipchumba Murkomen stating how things are slowly falling apart in the Jubilee House. The senator for Elgeyo Marakwet being forced to remember with nostalgia when things were so rosy in the party headed by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
In the first 5 years of Jubilee governance, there was harmony, comradeship, good relations, good consultations, more party meetings, more PG meetings. There must be something that happened in those 5 years that is now being reversed when we come to the situation of saying the president has now achieved what he wanted. Now some people are saying he doesn't need anybody.
Disagreements in the Jubilee party have been in low tones, but some legislators in the ruling party have publicly pointed out where the problem is. They say the war on graft has a 2022 election agenda.
Lakini tumejua hii lifestyle audit kuna mtu wana target. Na hiyo target ni succession politics ya 2022 ya kujaribu kuangamiza nia na dhamira ya viongozi fulani.
This statement came on the heels of President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive that all public officers, including him, undergo a lifestyle audit. The head of state has renewed the fight against corruption, and this has left his party torn in the middle. Leaders allied to the DP opposing with passion some of President Kenyatta's new policy on graft.
If you have those people being the ones who are influencing direction of where the government is, with only a single agenda that we must achieve separation of the president and deputy. No wonder some of the things that people are debating in public are actually as symptoms of that policy direction that a few people are trying to graft.
If you're working for the president, then there's nobody around the president who is going to undermine you, because our work is to align ourselves to the president's policies and agendas. So if somebody is actually it's not possible to undermine the deputy president if the deputy president is aligned to the president.
Jubilee's finger of blame is not just pointing at Ruto's neighbors across Harambee Avenue. They have NASA leader in the picture.
I really don't see where Raila Odinga is coming in. It is very, very simple. The president is categorical. His vigor in the fight for corruption has increased.
Starting from the deputy president to the lowest person, we take orders from one party leader, the president. What he says is what we do.
Kipkulei, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Well, Deputy President William Ruto has told those opposed to his tours across the country that he will not be deterred by criticism. In sentiments seen to be directed at NASA leader Raila Odinga, Ruto said no one will dictate the agenda for the Jubilee Party. Ruto was addressing the public at Rigoma Market in Nyamira County after commissioning a 430 million Keroka water project. Odinga has previously criticized Ruto for his early 2022 campaign.
the principal assistant to the president, and I am doing the work of the government of Kenya. Nimefika Nyamira leo, mambo ya hospitali, mambo ya maji nimekuja kufungua, mambo ya barabara tumekubaliana, mambo ya shule tutafanya saa hizi, mambo ya stima ndio hiyo mimi nimeanzisha. Kwani kazi ya naibu ya rais ni kufanya kazi gani? Si ni hiyo? So watu wawache kusumbuka saa ile mimi nafanya kazi nimepatiwa na wananchi wa taifa la Kenya.
Right, he is doing his job, and to help us discuss this matter and more, we have Charles Kipkulei just next to me, a lawyer and also a political analyst, and also we have Stephen Mogaka, another lawyer and a political analyst. Let's begin from just where the Deputy President ended, and he's saying that he's doing his job. Do you think that he has started early campaigns, or is it part of his job, or is it someone using their job for their early campaigns?
Well, I think thank you and good morning. What we are seeing is that we are in the second term of President Uhuru's 10 years rule, and because of that, he is not an incumbent. We have a looming succession, which in as much as we may want to ignore, it shall be there. Mm-hmm. Therefore, as Deputy President continues to go around the country, as he has always continued to do, because I do not think this is something new, because he's been doing this all along. And the only challenge and the reason why this is getting different attention is because Deputy President William Ruto is the second in succession in the Jubilee Party, and therefore when people look at him, they see two persons in one. They see a Deputy President, mm-hmm. and they see also a Jubilee Party Deputy Party Leader. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it depends on how you perceive him. But I think the way I look at it, there is no problem. It is just because ordinary Kenyans, campaigns begin the day after elections are declared. This is nothing new. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, Mogaka, is it fair that campaigns begin the day the election is called, the previous election is called? We are now about 10 months since the August election, just about 8 months since the October election. Is it early campaigns, and is it fair for the country, for the DP?
Well, unfortunately for Kenya, early campaigns are a natural phenomenon. It's a perennial phenomenon. That as soon as we go out of an election, plans for the subsequent election kick in. For the Deputy President, I think he has been quite smart consistently since he first sought elections. And call it mangamangering, the guy knows how to do his official work, mm-hmm. and then lays it with a hope for the future. Mm-hmm. And I think that is what discomforts many opportunists for the 2022 elections. Because there are those who think that since KANU fell, mm-hmm. there has never been any party that has had two successive terms.
Right.
And I mean, even Jubilee, this is their first term. Previously, they were URP and Jubilee. Mm-hmm. So those who hope that after Jubilee finishes its term, it ought to collapse, as history says, are the ones who are trying to throw a jugular into these arrangements, so that and those are the most worried about the Deputy President's moves. Mm-hmm. But like him or hate him, that is his style. Like him or hate him, the population or Kenyans seem to be resonating mm-hmm. with what he's doing.
And so let's get now to the matter to do with the Jubilee Party, because you see the majority leader at the Senate, Kipchumba Murkomen, talking about some people within the presidency, in the office, at the office of the president, that want to scuttle the Jubilee unity. And he, I don't know whether you watched that interview on Sunday, he was very elaborate on some of the occasions, talking about the lifestyle audit is targeting the DP, talking about the war on corruption is targeting the DP. Is it justified? Mogaka?
If I can take the first go, yes, it is justified. For the URP wing, which was hoping that the Jubilee wing will bequeath them the power once the
URP, Jubilee wing or TNA?
TNA, yeah.
But
there
it's
was
one party.
a TNA before the merger. Yeah, so the URP wing hopes that they scratch TNA's back, and come 22, it's TNA to scratch their back. And those are the Murkumens. And when they see any other arrangement, they have every reason to get worried, because, I mean, they were promising that until 2030, it is Jubilee going to reign supreme. But the Kenyan way of doing things, and I must confess, the president has no business in the 2022 elections. And the URP wing of Jubilee ought to have known this, that deals last only 5 years. Murkomen's grumbling is quite welcome. And those who also want to take advantage and dismember Jubilee, this is their time, because if they allow Jubilee to remain intact until 2022, then they have no business in politics. Politics is about preparing for tomorrow all the time.
So you're saying that URP wing was hoping to be bequeathed the mantle by the TNA.
Internal succession.
But now that party is one today. Does it mean that those divisions never sealed when it became one party after merging nearly 14 parties?
Well, for me, I do not really see Jubilee as being TNA and URP, because it's one party. And they have a very clear succession plan, which is after 10 years of Uhuru Kenyatta. It is according to the political party, and in every political party, their ambition is to get power and own it and continue controlling it. Right. Therefore, it is in the plan and the vision of Jubilee to continue being in power. Therefore, President Uhuru Kenyatta has his 10 years. After President Uhuru Kenyatta finishes his 10 years, then it is William Ruto. That is the original Jubilee succession plan. Therefore, when you see a number of leaders, mainly associated with Deputy President, starting to voice concern that probably there are attempts to scuttle this plan, it is because, in my thinking, when President Uhuru Kenyatta leaves, maybe State House, then there's going to be a change in terms of who is more proximate to power. Therefore, there may be elements within that circle of power who wish to continue to retain control. Therefore, they may want to influence this succession, mainly even in terms of influencing who becomes the running mate. But in as far as the issue of the success of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Jubilee flag bearer in 2022 is concerned, I think that is a matter that has been addressed. And the last time President Uhuru Kenyatta spoke about this, he was very clear that it is me 10 years, then William Ruto the next 10 years. Therefore, in the absence of another pronouncement, then I think that should hold. The only thing that we are seeing right now is that probably there is unease in terms of control and the need to continue being proximate to power. Therefore, internal jostling, which is normal for political parties. So what I'm saying is that there is too much focus on Deputy President William Ruto, just as was on former Prime Minister Raila Odinga in 2007 and 2012. In the run-up to 2012, there was a lot of attention on him because he was the front runner at that time. Right. So Deputy President William Ruto, by virtue of being the front runner for 2022, attracts a lot of attention and focus in as much as when the 2022 question comes into place. So for me, I only see this as jostling in terms of trying to be proximate to power, but Jubilee is one. There is no more TNA and URP, and their clear succession plan is still there, and it remains unchanged.
Yes, of course, he is a man under focus because of his proximity. He's just number 2, next to number 1. But looking at it, the people who are raising these voices are from his inner circle. Are they justified to say that the lifestyle audit that has been announced by the president, a president saying that it will start with him, then the deputy, then a governor, are they justified to say that that is targeting the deputy president?
Well, this is politics. And you know one thing, that when you hear Deputy President William Ruto speaking on these issues of the lifestyle audit, the issue even of how the president referred to him, and even on the issue of the fight against corruption, in all these issues, Deputy President William Ruto has supported his boss. He usually says, "Mimi ni mtu wa mkono." Even on the issue of the handshake, many people never expected him to support it, but he came out clearly and said, "I support him." The only problem is that, as I told you, there is jostling in terms of who now controls the narrative, especially as we head to 2022, because there is going to be a change of guard. And therefore, realignments are happening.
Is it noise about nothing?
No, it's not noise about nothing. It is basically realignments. And also, when you look at President Uhuru Kenyatta, he wears two hats at the same time. He's the head of state, the president, and he's also party leader of Jubilee. But for the last 10 months after being elected, he has not functioned mainly as the party leader of Jubilee. Therefore, in the absence of Uhuru Kenyatta pronouncing himself on political issues, there's been a lot of speculation on his position. And that has created a vacuum. And you know, politics, power abhors a vacuum. They can never be a vacuum. So when President Uhuru does not speak clearly to say that, as he usually used to say, it is me, after me, then it is William Ruto, then in that absence, then there is an ease, especially in the William Ruto circles, that President Uhuru must address himself to this matter. But when you see him allowing his deputy to go around the country to carry the development agenda and to be the person who is now the face of the Jubilee Party development agenda, then it is a very clear indication that he has actually allowed him to go and sell himself. Precisely that.
So, be it as it may, when you say that he is the president, the party leader of Jubilee, but yet this is a man who has tried for the past few months to come out as a leader who wants to put the country together, even going to shake hands with the Prime Minister. Don't you think he's a man caught in between politics versus what he has to do for the country and legacy?
Yeah, I can't agree more with you because, as I indicated earlier, the president has no business with 2022. His only business is what legacy does he bequeath Kenyans? What will Kenyans remember him for? And I'm glad he has taken the combat on corruption, you know, to the highest notch ever taken by a sitting president. And it is kudos to him, and I think Kenyans are celebrating and baying for more blood in this war. And unfortunately, when a war on corruption is mounted, and this explains why some people in the DPs or office would make noise, because this war will obviously create casualties. And one way of preempting an attack is to cry wolf. So it is important that people in DP's president say, we know you are targeting our man, so that, you know, if the gun was to point in that direction, they would go slow. There are others who think that when they are crying wolf, look at them. The guilty are always afraid. Why are you shouting? And nobody has come your direction. So there are those who would interpret that noise as a cry of the guilty who think now doomsday is here. But all said and done, this country needs to transit from the leakages of the exchequer, and we need to see the taxpayers' money giving value to the taxpayer. And therefore, the agenda for fighting corruption is a Jubilee agenda. And we need to see all Jubilee brigades supporting it, headliner and sinker. But again, on the other issue of where my colleague has commented that look at what the Vice President says or Deputy President says about his support for his boss in the fight for corruption. I want to confess that the Deputy President is against corruption. I must confess the Deputy President is a very smart politician, and he knows what he should say. But for you to know the other side, or as we say, the true story, you need to listen to what the leader of majority, Duale, is speaking. You need to listen to what the brigade, Akina Murkomen, are saying. And what are they saying? They are crying wolf. So officially, and this is how politics is played, there is the official statement to be read, which has no content, but the real story is on the political dogs, and what they shout is really what goes nearer what the truth is. So that is our politics.
Mogaka, I was going to ask you, you're a former journalist, but of course we will later on try to get that bite from Duale to hear what he said, and we'll make an assessment whether there's a story or there is not. But now we want